Imagine a world at war, nations pitted against each other, a grim era that was the 1930s and 40s. Picture a charismatic yet sinister figure rising to power in Germany, the infamous Adolf Hitler, his Nazi party sweeping across the land with a chilling fervor. With the invasion of Poland in September of 1939, the world was thrust into the second global conflict in less than half a century. On one hand, we had the Axis powers led by Germany, Italy, and Japan, driven by their expansionist ideologies. On the other, the Allied nations, initially led by the United Kingdom and France, standing up against this aggression. Meanwhile, the United States maintained its neutrality, a nation watching from the sidelines, that is, until the fateful day of December 7, 1941, when the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, compelling the U.S. to join the fray. And thus, the stage was set for one of history's most devastating events. Fast forward to 1945, the war was far from over, but a new weapon was about to change the course of history. As World War II raged on, a secret endeavor was taking shape in the United States. Codenamed the Manhattan Project, this clandestine initiative gathered the brightest minds of the era, their objective, to harness the devastating power of the atom. Across the country, in hidden laboratories, these scientists and engineers were racing against time, working to develop a weapon of unprecedented power. Their efforts culminated in the creation of the atomic bomb, a device capable of unleashing a force more destructive than any seen before. Meanwhile, the Allies issued the Potsdam Declaration, a statement calling for Japan's unconditional surrender. It was a stark ultimatum: surrender or face utter destruction. Japan, however, chose to continue the fight, refusing to bow to the Allies' demands. This defiance spurred the United States into a fateful decision. Convinced that an invasion of Japan would result in massive casualties, American leaders saw an alternative path to ending the war. They made the decision to drop the atomic bomb on two Japanese cities, Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The goal was to force Japan into surrendering, to bring an end to years of devastating conflict. The world was on the brink of witnessing a destruction never seen before. August 6 and 9, 1945, 2 days that would forever be etched in the annals of human history. In the immediate aftermath of the bombings, Hiroshima and Nagasaki were unrecognizable. Once bustling cities, they were reduced to rubble within seconds. The human cost was unimaginable. An estimated 140,000 people in Hiroshima and 70,000 in Nagasaki lost their lives, most of them civilians, and many of them instantly. Those who survived the initial blast were left to grapple with a landscape of destruction and despair. Buildings, infrastructure, entire communities were obliterated. The survivors, known as hibakusha, were left with physical and psychological scars that would last a lifetime. Their strength and resilience in the face of such devastation are a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity. Just days after the bombings, on August 15th, Japan announced its surrender, effectively ending World War II. The surrender was met with relief worldwide, but the celebration was tainted by the horrifying reality of the atomic bombings. The world had witnessed the destructive power of nuclear weapons, and the dawn of the nuclear age had begun. The long-term effects of the bombings were equally devastating. The survivors suffered from radiation sickness, burns, and injuries. In the years that followed, they faced an increased risk of cancer and other radiation-related diseases. The environmental impact was also severe, with radiation poisoning the soil and water. But in the shadow of this devastation, humanity also showed its capacity for healing and growth. Hiroshima and Nagasaki became symbols of peace, reminders of the horrors of nuclear warfare and the importance of disarmament. Memorials were built, stories were shared, and the victims were remembered, not just in Japan, but around the world. This event also sparked a global conversation about the ethics and implications of nuclear weapons. It led to the establishment of international treaties and organizations aimed at preventing the proliferation of such destructive technology. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki were not just an end to World War II, but a beginning of a new era of global awareness and responsibility. In the face of such devastation, we are reminded of the cost of war and the importance of striving for peace. The bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki serve as a stark reminder of the devastating impact of armed conflict. It is a call to us all, to remember, to learn, and to strive for a world where peace prevails over destruction.